Negotiations and signing of Treaty Number 3. 4 years in the making. Initial treaty discussions began in 1869 over a right-of-way agreement for the Dawson Trail. This land-water route from the Lakehead to the Red River Valley would link eastern Canada to the west and would open the door for large-scale European settlement in Western Canada. In that year, the chiefs presented Simon J. Dawson, the surveyor of the trail, with a list of requests which included clothing, food, agricultural implements, animals, and payment for the use of their land. No agreement was reached at that time, nor in 3 subsequent negotiations that followed each year after. The Indians stand on their natural rights as lords of the land, and flatly firmly decline to enter into treaty with the government until they have been paid for the road. The fact that they received $3, each man, woman, and child last year, and a liberal present of provisions in payment on all claims of the past, and on the promise voluntarily made that they would enter into a treaty this year, is ignored by them. A journalist who accompanied the Crown Commissioners made this observation at the end of the 1872 negotiations. The chiefs recognized the value of their land and were intent on negotiating a treaty that was fair to both parties. This was too important to rush. This attitude set the standard for the rest of the numbered treaties across Western Canada. The Gathering. Negotiations were once again convened in 1873. Alexander Morris, Lieutenant Governor of Manitoba and the Northwest Territories, was appointed lead commissioner for the government. He selected the northwest angle on Lake of the Woods as the site for the meeting in the fall of that year. The Anishinaabe came from all parts of the territory, traveling by birch bark canoe to meet the northwest angle. Varying reports indicate that there were between 800 and 1,400 men, women, and children who gathered for the historic negotiations. An anonymous reporter from the Manitoba newspaper who accompanied the commissioners recorded the following. Northwest Angle, September 30th, 1873. The Lieutenant Governor and the party, and the other commissioners appointed to negotiate the treaty with the Indians, arrived here on Thursday the 24th, having enjoyed delightful weather during the trip from Fort Garry. The Governor occupies the house of the officer in charge of the Hudson's Bay Post. The grounds around it have been nicely graded and cleared of brush, and surrounded by rows of evergreens planted closely, so as to completely screen the house from wind and at the same time contribute much to relieve the monotony of the scenery. Immediately west of this, and likewise enclosed by walls of evergreens, is the large marquee used as a council house by the contracting parties. Situated to the eastward and extending all along the riverbank are the tents of the Indians to the number of 100. The natives now assembled here number about 800, all told, and hail from the places given below. Commissioners and eyewitnesses didn't record the ceremonies undertaken by the Anishinaabe. These were nonetheless extremely important and were rendered to spiritually prepare for the discussions and to receive guidance. Ceremony continued throughout the negotiations.